Hi there, I'm just going to be doing HCF and LCM. So let's just write this down. HCF, I'm going to use my finger today. Yeah, HCF and LCM. Apologies for not writing the videos earlier. I've just moved house into Stanmore and I'm just trying to get my office fixed. So in the meantime I just wanted to do this. Highest common factor. Let's start with this. Highest common factor. So let's pick two numbers. We'll pick, let's say, 15 and 20. Highest common factor means which number goes into 15 and 20. So it's common between 15 and 20. And it's the highest number between 15 and 20. You guessed it, it's 5. 1 also is a factor and it goes in between 15 and 20. But the highest is 5. Yes? Now, here's a quick way of doing that. So the quick way of doing that is to draw a grid. You do 15, 20, put a line here, put a line here, put a line here. Now, figure out which prime number goes into both numbers. It's 5, so you just do 5 here. So you've got 3 and you've got 4. Does any other number, it doesn't have to be a prime number, any other number go into 3 and 4 apart from 1? No, no other number goes in. So 5 is your highest common factor. Very simple. It's very simple. Highest common factor is very simple. Basically you get the 15 and you get the 20 and you just divide it by any number that goes into it. Here, let's try a different one. Let's pick some numbers here. 8, 10 and 40. So there's 3 numbers here. Don't let 3 numbers put you off. It's very simple. You pick one number that goes into all 3 numbers. So we start off with 2. 2 can go into 8, 10 and 40. Why? Because they're all even. So here's 2. 8 divided by 2 is 4. 10 divided by 2 is 5. 40 divided by 2 is 20. Now we have to look at it again. Is there another number that can go into 4, 5 and 20? Is there another number? No, there's no other number except 1. So you just have 2 here. So 2 is the highest common factor between 8, 10 and 40. Does that make sense? Basically you got 8, you got 10, you got 40 and you divide it by any numbers that can go into all 3. And 2 is the first one you divide it into. So 8 divided by 2 is 4. 10 divided by 2 is 5 and 40 divided by 2 is 20. Now you've got 4, 5 and 20. Is there another number that can go into all 3? Yes, it's only 1. But is there any other number? No. So the answer is 2. 2 is the highest common factor. 2 equals HCF. Yes? So we pick another one. Let's pick larger numbers. Let's say 18, 25, 36. I'm just randomly picking these numbers. Right, which number goes into all 3? There isn't any except 1. 1 can go into 18, 25 and 36. 3 can go into 18 and 36. 6 can go into 18 and 36, but it doesn't go into 25. So if you find that there's no other number except 1, then the HCF is equal to 1. Does that make sense? HCF is equal to 1. Here, let's try a different one. Let's try 36, 72 and 90. Right, 36, 72 and 90. This HCF LCM only works if you really know your times table, so you have to master your times table up to 12. and really know your numbers. Right, first thing I do is divide every number, because they're all even, by 2. So 36 divided by 2 is 18. 72 divided by 2 is 36. And 90 divided by 2 is 45. Then I'm going to look at these three numbers, and because I know my times table, I can guess that the number 3 will go into 18, 36 and 45. 18 divided by 3 is what? 6. 36 divided by 3 is 12. And 45 divided by 3 is 15. Now, can 3 go into it again? Yes, it can. So I'll put 3 here. 6 divided by 3 is 2. 12 divided by 3 is 4. And 15 divided by 3 is 5. Now, can any other number apart from 1 go into 2, 4 and 5? No. So you've got these numbers here. 2 times 3 times 3. So let me just make this a bit smaller. Here. Just put it here. Just watch that carefully. 2 times by 3 times by 3. Or you could do 2 times by 3 to the power of 2, which means 3 times 3. And the answer is 18. 18 is your highest common factor, because 2 times 3, 6 times by 3 is 18. And that is highest common factor. Now we're going to do lowest common multiple. Okay, lowest common multiple. So let's just take 6 and 9. We know what multiples means. Multiple means your times table. So you've got 12. Multiples of 6 are 12, 18, 24, yeah? 9, 18, 27, 36. It can go on forever, basically. But lowest common multiple means it's your multiples, it's the common one, but it's the lowest one. Now the lowest one, where they're both common, is 18. Look, 18, 18. So in the 6 times table and the 9 times table, the lowest common multiple is 18. So this is one method you can use to work it out. Just by doing the times table, going up the ladder and seeing the first time they meet. This is the lowest common multiple. There is other times where they are common multiples and it will go higher, higher and higher. For example, when you go to 36, 6 times 6 is 36. And 9 times 4 is 36. So that's another common multiple, but it's not the lowest. The lowest is this, 18. Does that make sense? So if you do get stuck, just think of this as your times table, and it's the first time that both times tables have the same number. That's called lowest common multiple. But there is a quick method of doing this. Apart from doing it this way, this is very simplistic way of doing it. But when you get complicated numbers, or you have 3 numbers, then there is a different technique. So that's what I wish to go through. So for example, if you get an exam question which says 6, 9, and let's say 11, and you're asked to find the lowest common multiple of 6, 9 and 11. Sometimes you could just do 6 times 9 times 11 and it could be the correct answer. But there is another technique that I like to use, and this is why you need to know product of prime factors. You have to know product of prime factors in order to do this technique of LCM. So if you don't know your product of prime factors, you have to go back to the videos and memorize the technique for product of prime factors, which means the multiplications of your prime factors. So we're going to put these grids here, and we put the number 6 here, and we're going to divide that 6 by prime numbers. So the first prime number, the lowest prime number would be 2. So yeah, 6 divided by 2 equals 3. Then the next prime number is 3. 3 divided by 3 equals 1. So we've brought from 6, we brought it to 1 by dividing it by prime numbers. Here we've got 9. 9 divided by 2 doesn't go, so 9 divided by 3 equals 3, and then 3 divided by 3 equals 1. So just look at this, 2 times 3 equals 6, 3 times 3 equals 9. These are your prime numbers that make up these numbers, right? Now we've got 11. We all know 11 is a prime number, so 11 will stay. Okay. So the technique of this is to find out which prime numbers multiplied together will make the lowest common multiple. So we look at the first one. There's a 2 here. Is there a 2 on the other side? No. Is there a 2 on this side? No. So we put 2 here. We look at 3. How many 3s are here? There's 1 lot of 3. There's 2 lots of 3 here. And there's no 3s here. So you take the largest out of the 3 columns. And it's here. 3 times 3. And is there 11 here? No. No. But there's 11 at the end. So you take the 11 here. So 2 times 3 is 6. Times by 3 is 18. And then 18 times by 11 will give you the lowest common multiple. Now just look at this carefully. I wanted the lowest common multiple between 6, 9 and 11. So if you times 6 times 9 times 11, you get 594. That is a common multiple between those 3 numbers, but it's not the lowest. By doing the products of prime factors, which I showed you earlier on, 2 times 3 times 3 times 11 is 198. This is the exact answer. This is the lowest common multiple between 6, 9 and 11. That's why it's very important to do these grid methods. I call it grid methods. It's in the Peter Robson book, and it's brilliant for working out lowest common multiples. Here, let's try another one. Let's try 7. Let's try 12. And let's try 15. I'm using 3 numbers because generally you could get that in an 11 plus exam. So 7, 12 and 15, what's the lowest common multiple? What do these numbers go into basically? So here's the magic number, the LCM. LCM. And 7, 12 and 15 go into it. Now you could do this, do your 7 times table and waste half a day trying to figure it out. Yes? Yeah, and you can go on and on like that. Or you can do the grid method. So please, let's look at the grid method. So let's put it there. Here, the grid method is like this. 7 is naturally a prime number. It can't be broken up because a prime number has 2 factors, 1 and itself. So we already have got 7 done. 12, it can be broken up. Divided by 2 equals 6, divided by 2 equals 3, divided by 3 equals 1. So 2 times 2 times 3 equals 12. So these are your product of prime factors. 15 can't be divided by 2, but it can be divided by 3. Equals 5, divided by 5 equals 1. So 3 times 5 equals 15. Now, what we're going to do, now we've got the grid method, we're going to put it together and show you how fast it is to work out the lowest common multiple. You start off with the lowest numbers. There's no 2 here. There's no 2 here. But there's 2 lots of 2 here. And there's no 2 here. So you take the largest amount of 2's in each column. So it's here. 2 times 2. If there was a 2 here, you still take 2 times 2 because it's the largest out of the 3 columns. That's what the whole point is. You take the largest amount of the 2's. So 2 times 2. How many 3's? There's a 3 here and there's a 3 on this side, but it's only 1. they're both equally the same. One lot of 3 on the 12 grid and one lot of 3 on the 15. So you take 1. And you take 1 lot of 5. So 2 times 2 is 4, times by 3 is 12, times by 5 equals 60. But that's not finished yet because you've got a 7 here. Times by 7 equals 420. So 420 is your lowest common multiple. Okay, let's try another one. Okay. You try this one. I'm going to try a 5 here. Immediately you should know, oh, prime number. So you don't need to dissect it into a grid format. Let me try an 8 here. And let me try a 12. Now what is the lowest common multiple of 5, 8, 12? 5 you already done, you don't need to make it into a grid, but 8 you do. You do like that. What numbers go into 8? Prime numbers. 2. 2 divided by 8 divided by 2 equals 4. Divide again by 2 equals 2. Divide again by 2 equals 1. 12 divided by 2 equals 6. Divided by 2 equals 3. Divided by 3 equals 1. Now here is 2 times 2 times 2 makes 8. Here 2 times 2 times 3 makes 12. How many lots of 2's are there? There's 3 lots of 2's here and there's 2 lots of 2's here. So you take the largest, the 3 lots of 2's, right? And how many lots of 3's are there? There's none in here, but there's 1 here, so you take that. And how many lots of 5's? There's only 1, and you take that. So 2 times 2 times 2 is 8, times by 3 is 24, times by 5 is 120. 24 times by 5 is 120. So 120 is your lowest common multiple. This is the fastest way of working it out. I mean, if the numbers are complicated, it's definitely the fastest way. I'll show you an easier technique. When I meant I'll show you an easier technique, it's like this. If it's 6 and 8, then obviously your 6 times table will be 48. 6 times 8 equals 48. But is that the lowest common multiple? Is there another number that can go into it? Yeah, so you do this. 6, 12, 18, 24. 8, 16, 24. So sometimes you don't need the grid method. You can just quickly go up the ladder in your times table and then figure out, oh, 24 is the lowest common multiple. So I hope you understood that. If you have any more queries, just ask me in class this Saturday. Thank you very much and hope to see you soon this Saturday.